Backporting is when you take a Pokemon from a future generation and send it back to the past into a game where it really shouldn't exist in. This time I'm taking Turtwig all the way to Gen 1 Pokemon Red and Blue. I'm going to be doing a standard solo run with it, so no items in battle and only Turtwig in battle, apart from HM users which I can have in the background. How will a Gen 4 Pokemon do in the very first Pokemon games? Like the video and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into the challenge. The starter Pokemon I got when editing this ROM was obviously Turtwig. The problem with this backporting website is that I can't change the starter to be what I want specifically, so I had to create numerous ROMs until I actually got something I wanted to use. And the way its special stat is actually calculated is the higher of its special attack or special defense stat, meaning Turtwig has a special stat of 55. But this is the same for every other Pokemon, meaning Hitmonchan, that has a special defense stat of 110, would have that instead of its special attack stat of 35. Also deciding to randomize field items because I thought it'd be funny, mainly getting decent items like rare candies and ultra balls and ethers, rocking up to the rock gym without even healing at the Pokemon Center with my grass moves, and obviously we sweep the gym with Turtwig. Even with Onix now having a special stat of 45 rather than 30, wow, that is a massive difference. Turtwig very shocked that it doesn't have to face a Cranidos at the end of this Geodude and Onix. Getting the first badge, and now let's go and sweep Misty as well. Now, despite me making a massive solo run document with every Pokemon solo run from every game, I haven't included backported Pokemon, as I have wanted to do this video for a long time. But maybe one day I will add backports to the red and blue section of the spreadsheet, if there isn't high enough demand for it. Going through Mount Moon, and I took the Helix fossil. What joke would you rather me make? An MDB fossil gag, or a Lord Helix joke? Pick which one is less funny in the comments section. During this trek, however, Turtwig tries to evolve into Grottle, but this is a Turtwig solo run and he is perfect as he is. Man, I love grass type starters. Eventually getting the Gen 1 critical hit machine Razor Leaf, which means Misty's gym is trivial, giving us the next badge in very short order. Now going to face the rival on the way to see Bill, learning Bite for some coverage as it's now a dark type move. He could have actually beaten me in this battle, but decided to just mess around with a smokescreen rather than using Ember. The smokescreen wasn't even necessary as we got hit with Sand Attack earlier. Going through the routes and fighting off Bobblehead Machops and discovering Bill has zero idea what he is doing, as his Vaporeon PNG looks a lot like a Flareon. I'm sure a lot of people will get upset about that. Headed down to the SSN afterwards to battle the rival yet again, and he is a bit tougher this time as it took me 4 tries to defeat. But I was leveling up in between attempts, which actually did help me get past him eventually, getting the HM for Cut. I also battled the Lightning American, God bless the USA, but also God bless Razor Leaf, landing critical hit after critical hit, and helping me win on my first try, giving me and my Turtwig buddy our 3rd gym badge. Rock Tunnel wasn't too troublesome apart from the fact I got poisoned and had no antidotes, but I couldn't be bothered to walk all the way back and forth through hundreds of Wilds encounters to get to the Pokemon Center, so I just used whatever potions I had handy. We did actually make it all the way to Celadon without succumbing to poison damage, but what did happen was poison type moves, as we got destroyed by the first trainer in Erica's gym. Not an exaggeration or anything, the literal first trainer. I decided to go battle the Rocket hideout instead, going through the base to battle Giovanni. His Kangaskhan's baby really wants to get out of the pouch, looking like, let me at him, let me at him! You've still got a few more years before you can Mega Evolve, so you're stuck in there. Once we get the Sylph Scope, I battle the rival again, and that Charmeleon really has my number. If I'm struggling against it now, how will I beat it once it gains the Flying type and becomes a Charizard? I identify the Marowak, and that's a very strange looking Marowak. But regardless, I can now use the Poker Flute to wake up your mother. But once I get Erica's badge, that is. Despite being swept by the first trainer earlier, all we needed was a bit more training against the Souls of the Damned, and won the battle damageless. I actually think that lass at the start needs a promotion. Time for the big old battle gauntlet and cheating the system to get a free bike. But the police were hot on my tail, as I lost to one of the trainers and got sent to jail, only to break out and then get my free bike again and then ride down the cycling road to Fuchsia. But if I can't beat a random poison type trainer, how will I beat Koga? Well, I got the HMs from the Safari Zone, which Farfetch'd can learn, which actually makes sense, since it can be strong enough to push a boulder with strength, and it's a duck, so it can use surf and swim. That's what ducks do. Since I'm not battling Koga yet due to our type disadvantage, I decide to go to Silphco to battle all the trainers in there, clearing out most of the floors and collecting the items and battling the trainers. And once I had explored enough, I tried the battle with the rival, and obviously this didn't go well as I'm not even level 50 yet. Maybe I should go and battle Koga? Yeah, I'll do that, but this wasn't going too well either. I feel like I'm trapped. Even after getting the TM for Swords Dance and hitting level 50, this still wasn't a guarantee against him. I did manage to get some really good luck with Swords Dance and managed to beat his poison team using that attack boost and body slam, but it really was challenging. So I've still got to choose between the rival, and now we've got a fire type gym leader, another one that's super effective against us, and I can't even defeat the first trainer in this gym yet again. Well, I guess it's back to the rival battle, and it seems we just about defeated him and his team with Swords Dance. It was a very close battle, however, but luckily for me, Giovanni was much easier. I also saved the Lapras from the employee holding him hostage, but we don't need it, so into the box you go. Farfetch'd is our surfer for today. With Sabrina's gym now open, I feel a lot more confident battling her than any of the other bosses recently. And with her team being fairly poor in defences, in combo with Swords Dance and Body Slam, I get the victory really quickly. Now despite being quick, this was by no means simple, as we did get fairly low on HP, but we now have 6 badges out of 8, but are now forced to battle Blaine. Yeah, this one took a while. I won't really bore you with the details, but it's essentially trying to set up Swords Dances for Body Slam to get the KOs while avoiding Fire Blast. It does have pretty bad accuracy, but that doesn't mean it will against me. We did win at level 57 with our flammable friend, thanks to getting paralysis luck on Blaine's Pokemon allowing us to set up Swords Dance. He may have told me about Burn Heal, but maybe he should have tried Paralysis Heal. Going to the final battle against Giovanni, and it was a bit of a crossroads for the moveset, while we sweep the battle in the background. I would love to have Mega Drain, but can't remove Crunch or Body Slam as they are too useful and there is no other way to reteach these moves. And Leech Seed is great for my setups, but also kinda surplus as I have Swords Dance now, and we need to sweep before I can get a few minimal heals. Let's discuss that later, as after we've got the badge, we travel to the Pokemon League. Now despite badge boosting with Swords Dance, we cannot beat the rival just yet and his devilish Charizard. He's far too strong for us at the moment. We need to get a lot of good luck, like getting past the Pidgeot on full health, which helps us later down the line in battle, but I have no idea how high a level we will actually need to be to beat the champion, or if we can even get there. I got through the Victory Road Gauntlet training up on my travels and hit the league at level 65. Teaching Mega Drain over Leech Seed as the stab move and instant heals and damage combo will be much more beneficial than just the passive healing. Lorelei has ice types which are obviously a no-no for our grass turtle, not even being able to get past her Jinx, so I just have to brute force against her first few mons in order to level up. It's only the first member of the Elite Four, so I don't mind losing and having to head back because I don't lose that much progress. But the next attempt we do manage to avoid the blizzard and can make our first attempt at Bruno. And am I worried? Of course not. With 2 Onix on his team, Mega Drain heals any damage that could have been done to us. A free battle, but now Agatha will be a lot more difficult. Her team is still very strong even with us having Crunch. And Body Slam isn't even effective against the Ghost, and Mega Drain is just not very effective. So Agatha pretty much walls us, but by how much? Well, once we hit level 70, we get so close, getting her last Gengar into the red before falling short of the victory. But once we hit level 72, we can sweep her team. It's amazing what a few levels can do to your fortunes. But before we get too cocky, we have to battle Lance, and cannot cheese this battle with agility, as his team will only see the super effective moves. And seeing as Turtwig isn't like Bulbasaur in the fact that it's a pure grass type rather than grass poison, they won't use agility as much as I would probably want. This isn't the best of battles, as Dragonite can manage to one-shot us, and even when we get back at level 75, it still only needs a single chance to take us out in one hit. But much like the Agatha battle, 2 levels makes the difference, as we take out the Dragonite and the rest of Lance's team, giving us our first attempt at the champion. But will it be our only attempt? Well, obviously it won't be a win on the first try because the game isn't very kind to me. We do get a bit of mercy with Pidgeot missing Sky Attack, which is basically 2 free damageless turns, but having no chance to set up Swords Dance unless the Rhydon comes out. But why would he send in a Rhydon against a Grass type? I lost to the Charizard, but it is evident we need some more levels. A few more attempts in the Elite Four, and even reaching the champion a few more times, losing right away to Sky Attack or other such nonsense. I got into level 80s, including this attempt at level 84. I was going to try and set up versus Pidgeot, but I didn't want to risk potential Sky Attack, so I just went for the KO, getting a one-shot with a critical hit Body Slam. And then I also knocked out Alakazam with its piss poor defense. Rhydon comes in, and I decided to set up against it with 3 Swords Dances in combo with the badge boost, basically upping all our stats. And with Mega Drain being 4 times super effective, I pretty much healed up to full. This allows us to beat the Grass, Water and Fire type core of the rivals team, one-shotting Exeggutor, Gyarados, and his starter Charizard, to officially beat Pokemon Red with only a Turtwig. This was a very fun challenge despite that ending being fairly anticlimactic. I really am interested in the videos featuring post-Gen 1 Pokemon in Gen 1, like Slacking now with Truant, or legendaries from the 3D series of games. If there was a way to choose what star I could actually make rather than opening the game and hoping for something cool, then I would probably make more of these, and then add them to my spreadsheet as it would be a lot easier to get these runs done. But did you enjoy that video? Oh damn, I hope so. If you did, leave a like and comment, and maybe I'll try this challenge again with another future gen Pokemon. My name is Super123, and I'll see you all next time.